Beep, let's do this, boys and girls. First, the name, Kakarot. Secondly, the anime, Dragon Ball Super, Episode 59 review. Protect Kaioshin, destroy Zamasu. Let's do this. Starts off with, as we expected, what looks to be, even I've seen some other reviewers say, don't drink that tea, because we're all thinking this is going to be how he's going to kill. So we have him poisoning the tea, so we think. So I thought, and so many others thought. But Beerus and Whis just kind of say it's nothing. We have to give him the chance to fight one more time. So he's pretty much making up an excuse here why they're there, because they're kind of, investigating, but they just kind of threw Goku under the bus and just kind of lied to Zamasu and said that we're just here to fight again, which is pretty badass. Zamasu's like, if you want me, then gladly, which is pretty badass. But he just says, oh no, I'm just going to talk to Goku not to do that. So we're going to take our leave, don't you think? So moving on, he leaves him with a gift of Daifuku. So I think I've heard of that before. It looks pretty tasty, actually. I thought it was eggs at first, hard-boiled eggs, but so as they leave, he says there's no doubt he's planning to kill Gowasu. So he says his Kai smelled of murderous intent. So them being gods above the Supreme Kai. The Supreme Kai and Goku could not figure anything out. So he pretty much said, I'm a god of destruction, and we says I'm kind of like that too. And we smelled murderous intent in Zamasu. So, and they make a joke, and once again, I'm not sure if my translations are correct here, but he says he's kind of ripping on him that they smell like Beerus's farts, which was pretty funny. So they're injecting the right amount of humor into this serious situation. So pretty much he says if he tries to kill a Kaioshin, I will destroy him. So Beerus is stepping up. He's bossing up. He's been weak lately. I always have mixed feelings about Beerus. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. I like Beerus though, but towards the end of this episode, it changed my mind about Beerus. But I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Basically, he says we can't destroy him simply because he has murderous intent. Now let's go back to Dragon Ball Z. This was the same thing with Dr. Gero. They knew Dr. Gero was going to activate the androids at one time and cause all this destruction. They could just go and kill Dr. Gero, but they said they can't because they have morals. So that's pretty much, that is not proper. So we're moving on. We have no choice but to watch the situation for a while as he throws it up on his little glass ball TV, a la Baba style. Pretty much they're talking. This is the kind of this is now the future Zamasu with Black, that we know they are no longer a threat to us. So that's how most bad guys are. They kind of just think that they're no threat to us. So it's not like they're planning anything. So they're no threat to us. Whatever. And he says that you too, he's talking to Goku Black here, you too should have used the Super Dragon Balls to gain an undying body like I did. He pretty much says that an undying body is not enough. I'm satisfied with this power. The Super Saiyan Rose is starting to grow on me. So he says that this infinitely rising power is necessary for our plan. So they have a plan. And like I said, this is growing on me. I do like the Super Saiyan Rose. Now we switch. This anime does a really good job of kind of tying all the loose ends together here. So we're kind of going back over to Mai now. She says she's keep fighting alone. She keeps fighting even if she's alone. So she is kind of pretty much keeping the hope amongst the all of the humans left in the future. So she's just keeping up hope with all the kids and stuff. This was only flashed on the screen for a second. It looks to me as if Vegeta is training again, which looks to be in the gravity chamber. I only saw this for a split second. This is only my second time seeing it. Vegeta doesn't feel like changing his armor, I guess, because that armor works so well. But it looks like he's training here. It looks like he's destroyed some down here. He's destroyed some of more training equipment and such. So Vegeta's training. I love to see that. Looks like he's in Kaioken. I mean, that's something we've all wanted to see. Vegeta totally looks like he's in Kaioken right now, which is, if Vegeta with Kaioken, lights out. Okay. Now we move again as we like to move around, we're moving to present day Trunks, but it's future Trunks. So he's just feeling sorry for himself, which he feels really bad about leaving Mai. He says he ran away, but he did not. It was Mai, but that's secretly the love of his life. So Pilaf, we have some, like I said, he's not my favorite comic relief, and he does some dumb stuff here. Trying to say, oh Mai, you should move in now. Trunks is, you could really go there. Tries to give her some horrible advice to go try to cheer Trunks up. But Pilaf, whatever. I like original Dragon Ball, but I'd rather see Mr. Satan and Boo doing some comic relief as opposed to these two. Or let's throw in the Para brothers, but let's not get into that. I love the Para brothers, but we're not getting into that. And then this is actually really funny. I love, like I said, we're not doing Back to the Future rules here of time travel, although the next episode is called Back to the Future, but that's just a little spoiler. But Kid Trunks comes up to himself and says, hey, me, and older Trunks says, hey, it's you. It's just kind of funny. Kid Trunks is kind of pissed that seeing his future self is so emo. He has the right, but he's a kid, so he doesn't really understand the situation. He's pretty much saying, don't sulk, don't just sit there and sulk and be all emo because you got beaten up. I mean, he's got the haircut for it too. And he goes Super Saiyan and says, he's trying to get some inspiration into his future self. He doesn't like seeing him, figuring that, hey, that's going to be me. I mean, it's still so confusing because we're not doing Back to the Future rules, we're not doing Terminator rules. It's this whole future thing is just different in Dragon Ball Super. Obviously, he comes up and just totally just punches him right in the face, just wrecks him with the punch, throws him back, and we go to intermission, which is brought to you by No Explode energy drink. That's proper. Moving on. Now we move on to the last half of the episode with, I suppose I was already looking at things from one angle. He is faking the fact that he is good now. Like, I see that humans should exist, and I see that good and evil can exist. I mean, he's just blowing smoke up his ass pretty much just to hinder the fact that he's about to kill him. So he says, Zamasu, I knew you'd see eventually, because he's freaking naive as hell. So he goes to choke, and Zamasu's about to blow his shit out, but decides not to. It helps him, like, not choke kind of thing here. But he's like, okay, round 2. His arm goes up. He's about to kill him. So that obviously was a curveball thrown at us, figuring that the way they made it look last week, he has tea. It looks like he drinks the tea, and then he falls over with the tea spilling. So he throw a curveball. He's just going to bop him on the back of the head, apparently. And he does bop him on the top of the head and kill him. Whis, boom. He can go back in time, which is his whole plan, which, I didn't really think of that really fast. But he does obviously have that ability, and they do that. And he's got this little super padded oven mitt that he's going to slide on his hand, not to kill him. He goes round 2 because the first time got turned back. So round 2, he comes down, cracks him on the back of the neck. He's got the padding on there, and Beerus steps in like, too bad for you, and says you were about to be killed by Zamasu. They explain the whole story. This is the proof. I guess Zamasu doesn't want to turn off his I want to do the research on this too, because off the top of my head, I cannot think of the guy from the Dragon Ball movie, the movie Dragon Ball movie Cooler, obviously, and one of his henchmen has the exact same thing. It's been shown on Facebook and stuff. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's funny that he's using this as well. But he apparently is not smart enough to turn it off. If he turns it off and just turns down his power, the glove would come off and his hand would be normal, and he could call them liars, but he leaves his hand charged up. So that's not very smart. So had not been for the glove I put on him, you have gone straight to the afterlife, death. So if only you were out of the way. And then pretty much Supreme Kai, since they already went into the future and seen all this, they know Supreme Kai pretty much tells them the whole plan to, create a fake Goku, destroy the humans. And he says, well, I'm impressed that you managed to work out my plan. Goku spills the beans and pretty much says, we went to the future and saw for ourselves. So that pretty much says, hey, that's the reason why I cannot fall here, because, hey, I accomplished my plan. That's awesome. So now comes to the part of the whole entire Dragon Ball Super that kind of gave me... I've had the chills a few times, but Beerus is not one of my favorite characters, not one of my least favorite characters. He was kind of just floating in limbo where I really didn't know how much I liked him, and Beerus just hopped into the top 10 of my favorite characters. As Zamasu's about to whomp Goku here, Beerus just gets in his face like the biggest badass I've ever seen and just catches his hand. The music playing right now, if you have not seen this episode, I'm watching this on Kiss Anime. The music used right here is so freaking incredible and badass. You hear like the music's just like thumping. It's like that opera type, like I said from the last episode where from the last episode review I did, where it was the Gohan walking through cells, Kamehameha. I mean, it was freaking, this music is badass, and Beerus just stops him and says, don't get cocky. Beerus, biggest badass character of Dragon Ball Super thus far, gets in his face. Now I'm thinking we're going to have a knockdown, drag out war. We're going to have a freaking JR slobber knocker. This is going to be a battle. Beerus one-shots him and just freaking totally dismantles him and just dissolves him like nothing. Total one-shot. I'm still thinking this is not true, but Beerus just freaking one-shotted him. Totally just dismorphs his body into particles, just departicles him, whatever you want to call it. So we move on towards the end of the episode here, and I didn't think I'd get encouragement from myself, and future Trunks thanks himself, present Trunks, kid Trunks. So kind of funny. He says thank you, small me. He says you finally get it, bigger me. So he calls him small me, he calls him bigger me. That's kind of funny in my opinion. So he said now that Black is gone and the future is back to normal. Now all of us just instantly said, no, that's obviously not going to be true. So, but that's what they think. And even Trunks says, when we defeated the androids, my future didn't change. So he says when one god exterminates another, it's got to affect the time stream, which obviously is still not going to come true. So we end on Trunks saying, I hope so, ... Now, moving into an episode 60 preview, obviously, we jump into Trunks feels the need to get his, it's not like a bandana, like a scarf, whatever you want to call that, from the freaking Scooby-Doo guy had it too, and the Venture Brothers, Hank from the Venture Brothers as well liked it. I can't think of the name of it. I don't think it looks very cool or tough. But that's Trunks' look. I'm not a fan of this new Trunks at all. I want big, muscular, freaking badass Trunks back from freaking Dragon Ball Z. Not a fan of this Trunks at all. And obviously they go back. Looks like Vegeta changed his armor finally, which is nice. They go back to check on the future is peaceful again. Obviously it's not. Vegeta foolishly rushes Goku Black here. Obviously Vegeta's probably going to get frickin' swatted like a fly once again, which is unfortunate. Vegeta gets no freaking love, man. Come on. And then we end on Back to the Future. Goku's Black's true identity revealed. So this episode was freaking started kind of slow. A couple of curveballs thrown at us. And Beerus is like one of my new favorite characters, and he is a freaking badass. That was awesome. So hope you enjoyed the review. I got a lot of videos planned coming up, so thank you guys for all the love. Don't forget to like, comment, tell a friend, subscribe. Don't miss my live streams on Monday and Wednesday, although I've been having quite a few requests for more live streams, but let's be honest, I don't want people to get too sick of them. So Monday and Wednesday is even pushing it, but Monday and Wednesday live streams. Maybe I'll throw a bonus one in there. We'll see. I got some more Dragon Ball Online videos coming up, and I got to get back into some other Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT-esque videos again. I just wish I could get some collaborations, but I cannot. So, not that I've tried, but that's going to do it. Don't forget to everything I said in the past. I'm not going to say it again.
Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. Right. Bon par par. Bon par par. Bon par par. Bon par par. Respect the beat.